Hey guys, welcome to this week's tow trip. I got a little special something for you. We're in Flagler County, Florida. We're here for the KBF Open, KBF Redfish Challenge Series Championship. We're gonna go fishing with the winners of the event. And Jeff Little's gonna stop by to show us the new Torqeedo 1103, triple the power of the former motor. Brand new offering from Torqeedo. It's gonna be an exciting tow trip. Stay tuned, you're not gonna wanna miss it. Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. I am coming to you from Flagler County, Florida, Palm Coast, Flagler Beaches, and I'm excited about this opportunity because this is a very unique fishery on Florida's East Coast. There's a lot of cool stuff here that I have in store for you this week. To get started, we're out on the water with Dolphin Hamilton and Joe Komyati. Joe won the 2019 KBF Redfish Open, hosted here, and then Dolphin won the culmination of the Redfish Challenge Series, the Redfish Challenge Series Championship, and both of these guys agreed to hang around and get out on the water with me this morning before they had to head back home. We've got a unique episode in store for you guys. We're gonna do some cool stuff that we've never done on the show before, but for now, we're gonna get out there with Joe and Dolphin and try to catch some fish. And yes, his name is Dolphin, like, just like you heard it. It's not fancy like D-A-U-P-H-I-N, Dolphin. It's not spelled funny, it's dolphin. Like Miami Dolphins, but without the S. Dolphin.
So believe it or not, my name is Dolphin. I'm actually Dolphin the Fourth, so it's been a family name. My father, grandfather, and great-grandfather were all Dolphins as well. Nobody really knows why or where it came from, but it's been a fun name.
It came from Flipper, what are you talking about? One of the great things about the kayak fishing community is it's like a brotherhood. And so it was cool to have Joe be willing to take us out and fish in the spot he fished where he won the tournament, and also invite Dolphin to come along, even though that might be his secret honey hole that he could fish in a future tournament.
If we want to catch numbers, we need to go this way. To catch quality, we need to go that way. So the banks here are different than the banks where you guys were.
Oh, yeah.
So the banks here don't allow the fish to get in the grass. That's one thing I loved about it back here, because it was like, you know, even high tide.
They don't disappear back there?
Right now we're at a little spot yesterday that I pulled out like 16 flounder out of during the tournament.
That's a flounder. First fish of the day, nice fat flounder. Caught him on a Z-Man diesel minnow. Make a good sandwich right there. Cleaning them, you can get 2 fillets off the bottom and 2 fillets off the top side. This one, we're gonna put him back in the water though. Let's go get another one.
So when it comes to recreational fishing, most anglers aren't as obsessive about catching a specific species as I sometimes focus on myself. And so we were obviously out there trying to catch redfish to duplicate the Redfish Championships. But it's always great to be in a place that if you want to catch a fish, you can catch a fish pretty much anytime you want.
I love these fish. They're so beautiful. Just the color, and they'll change color depending on what bottom they're on.
If you want to target specks or even flounder, if you find a hole, pretty much any point or any washout behind an oyster reef is going to have one. You just pull up, wedge your kayak, grab a bait, throw it out, reel it in, and catch a fish. And so that was awesome to be able to see that even when the water conditions weren't right yet for the redfish and the tide hadn't fallen out enough, you could pretty much catch fish at will. Oh, there we go.
Nice trout. Oh, red.
That's trout. Ought to be able to bang them right here. There we go.
There we go. All week that I've been fishing here, this has been a really good trout hole. Been able to pull good numbers out of this one spot right here alone. Just now, I got this guy right here. It's a nice, about 16-inch speckled trout. He's about to jump out of my hands. When you're fishing for these guys, you want to focus on these big potholes. When the bait runs over and drops into the hole, they're just sitting there waiting for it. So there he goes.
There we go. Look at that. A bluefish. Don't see them here much.
You got a blue?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
These things are annoying. And he got my bait.
I got more if you need it.
Thank you, sir. Bluefish are one of those irritating fish that is like that guy or girl you went to high school with that'll just never shut up. They just like sticking an ice pick in your ear. That's what a bluefish is to a fisherman. They bite the tails off your lure, they tear the baits up. They're just not one of those fish that you really like to catch if you're trying to catch something else.
That's another blue. School bluefish. Redfish, bluefish, trout, flounder. Got them all today.
Redfish, bluefish, greenfish, two fish. It's like a kid's book out here. Now let's just catch another fish. Oh, there he is. Oh! Here's the one thing that's cool about this place. If you lose a fish, it's not that big a deal because you know you're about to catch 20 more. If you're looking for a place to bring family or somebody to get hooked on fishing, oh, there he is. This place is, put it on your list is all I'm saying, because it's non-stop action. As soon as the tide starts running, we got out here early and it was a little slower because the tide wasn't running, but as soon as that tide starts running, I turn on the conveyor belt and you could fill up a football stadium full of those. And so I've touched on the fact that in certain cases it's okay to leave fish to find fish. But for the first time in my life, I've actually been fishing with an angler who had to leave fishing to go to fish the band. So Dolphin had to leave us because he had tickets to fish.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to cut it a little short today. I've got to make a 4-hour drive back home, and after a weekend of fishing, I'm gonna see about going to see the band fish tonight. Finish the weekend off.
Be safe, enjoy the fish concert.
Thanks for everything, man.
There he is. Feels like another bluefish. It is. Oh no, it's a speck. Well, that's a good one right yonder. It's a chunky one. Not a monster, it's a chunk. All right, so we could camp out here on these little specks all day long, and it would be fun, but it'd be a lot more fun to go find some quality redfish, so that's what we're gonna go try to do.
Now we're gonna head back to an area that I fished during the tournament that held my bigger fish. It's basically that back wood line is what we're gonna be fishing right along the golf course. There's a lot of cut throughs and back little bays that these fish are held up in, and now that the tide's dropping out, they're gonna swing right out to the mouth of those, and we should be able to catch the bigger fish. I'm actually gonna try to catch one right here because this is a good spot. I'm on. You could catch so many more fish out of a kayak than you could ever catch out of a boat. I owned a boat. I used to go out to the flats. Great. Hey, I caught 10, 12 fish today. That was an excellent day. I come out here in a kayak, and there's days that I can catch 50, 60 fish. And it's like you get off the water and you tell people back at the ramp, and they're like, oh, how'd you do today? And the guys in the boat's like, yeah, we got like 3 or 4 keeper reds. And I'm like, oh. And they're like, well, how'd you do? And I'm like, oh, well, I got like 50 keeper reds. And they're like, there's no way. And I'm like, absolutely, there's a way. I can get places that a boat can never get to. This is the best way to fish. But that's a nice little guy. He'll grow up to be a beautiful fish. You get tails that are really red, they're eating fish. When the tails are blue like that, they're eating more shrimp-based diet. I love fishing redfish. I mean, I get up in the morning, I come out, and look at this. This area, it's my office. It's right there. When you stick a redfish, and I don't care if it's 15 inches or it's 30 inches, that fish has the might to pull you and it's that tug, it's that first initial smack, and when you set the hook, you know you have a redfish. It's just zing, and it's gone. And that's what I love about redfishing. When you stick one, you've got to be on your game, because he's either going to run around those bushes or run around the corner, and it just keeps your adrenaline level like right through the roof. They're amazing fish to catch. That's a nice redfish. That's what we're looking for.
You guys have probably heard the old saying, a bad day of fishing is better than a good day at work. And for me, and don't hate me for this, but fishing is my work. And sometimes you have to work even when you don't want to. So for this trip, I had a migraine that set in that was one of those of epic proportions. And I don't know if you've had a migraine before, but if you do, you're light sensitive. So thanks to my nines, I was able to stay out on the water. But the fact is, I was really thankful for the fact that Joe was there to take point and to put us on the fish. And I soldiered through and was able to stay out there long enough for him to find the fish and finally say, hey man, I got so many fish pinned up, Chad, why don't you just slide in there and catch one yourself?
Big fish, big fish, big fish. There's like 5 of them, monsters.
I really want to see Chad get a good redfish, so I basically checked out a little bit of the canal and was like, hey, this is perfect conditions. I want you to go ahead, go back in there, take this feeder creek around. I've caught fish back there all week. I personally love putting people on fish. If they're gonna eat, this is where he's gonna catch them, right here.
There he is.
Yes, yes.
Oh, it's a multi-spotter. Pretty dude.
Oh, wow, that is beautiful. That's a nice fish.
One of the unique things about redfish is they get these multiple spots. The spot's a false eye on the tail that helps them survive when they're young. Always pretty, always exciting, always cool, and it just gives them a little unique identity. And what's cool is if you ever fish a particular area long enough, you can catch a fish with the same spot pattern and you know them, and you'll catch it again a couple years later and have the same spot pattern, but it'll be 2 inches bigger, which is pretty cool. Look at that tail. Look how brilliant blue that thing is. That is crazy. We're gonna call it mission accomplished. We call it some redfish, some bluefish, some brownfish, some flatfish. The ecosystem here and the diversity of wildlife is just phenomenal. So if you haven't done so yet, check out Flagler County, one of the little hidden gems in the Sunshine State. There's so much water in Flagler County that I could barely scratch the surface by getting out and showing it to you from a kayak. So we decided to hook up with Chris Kelly, the owner and operator of Ripple Effect Guide Service. And we're gonna jump on his unique boat and head out and let him tell you a little bit about why he's so excited to live and work in Flagler County. He's gonna give us some insight into the ecotourism stuff, the conservation efforts, and a bit of history about the area.
Hang on your hats.
So guys, I'm gonna be honest with you and go on record and say that it was one of those days that I needed a break. After struggling through the day before with an impressive migraine, to say the least, it was nice to just jump on a boat, ride around, and let somebody else do the work and show me the scenery.
We're in the Matanzas River in the Atlantic Intracoastal Waterway right now, a remote section of that, but everything to the west provides a 14-mile long wildlife corridor and 14 miles of undeveloped estuarine wetland areas. The 40,000 acres right behind Marineland is all protected waterways. It's really one of the highest water qualities you'll find in the state of Florida. It's a Class 2 watershed. You're looking at a natural system that's been functioning as such since coming out of the last ice age. I mean, you're looking back 10, 12,000 years right here. And this area has never seen any development. So what you're looking at is fish habitats, the breadbasket for the ocean, right? The nursery.
Oh, he's got a fish. So we're not fishing, but this guy's out here fishing, and while we idle by, he hooks up, because that's just how many fish there are here. The sheephead? Yep, that's a sheephead. Pretty well documented by its vertical barring, because it's out on parole. Thank you, sir. All right, so Chris, listen, I spent a lot of time in combat SAR, which means I spent a lot of time working with special operations guys, and we had ribs, rigid inflatable boats that we worked out of. Yep. But we never had anything like this. So can you explain to me exactly what we're on right now and how it works and why it's as quiet and powerful as it is?
Absolutely, Chad. So the ripple effect, we've been trying to have a sustainable method here since 1999. We finally came across this Italian-made super yacht tender. It's a rigid inflatable with an inboard diesel engine. Also, this particular diesel engine is capable of burning the alternative fuels. So we met a gentleman that produces ASTM certified B100. 100% biodiesel, made from fryer grease, but burns so clean, so pure, it's actually beneficial to the engine. It's a really great product.
And it runs 100% on that.
100% on biodiesel.
Wow.
And it makes it entirely biodegradable. It's an incredible product, and you'll notice that the exhaust from it still has some semblance of kitchen smell at times.
It's making me hungry, actually. It smells like French fries.
Oh, yeah.
If you had smell-o-vision right now, you'd be smelling French fries. So next time I come, can you get Red Lobster grease? Because that's my favorite.
You got it, man.
If I got to be honest with you, when it comes to a diet, if there's one thing that was the toughest to give up amongst cookies and bread and sweets and all those other like yummy things, French fries, without a doubt, is the hardest one. French fries, I miss you guys. I miss you. You guys say hey to French fries for me the next time you go out. Let them know I miss them. So one of the toughest parts of my job is the amount of travel, which means I spend a lot of time gone. So I miss my beautiful wife, Kristie. But today I had the opportunity to get her to come down and join me, but instead of fishing, we're gonna do something a little different, swimming with dolphins. I think this is gonna be an experience of a lifetime, and I'm glad to be able to share it with her.
I am in heaven right now. Is all that clear? Yes.
So the only thing I'm worried about is I left my swim trunks at home on the counter when I was getting my coffee. So I'm wearing just regular shorts, but I've lost a few lbs, so these shorts are a little bit loose, and we're gonna get towed by the dolphins. So I might be the first person to get towed out of my shorts. So when you've lost over 80 pounds in a year and you wear your old shorts to get towed by a dolphin, sometimes you have a wardrobe malfunction. Luckily, nobody saw it, with the exception of maybe the dolphin.
I just want to say, coolest thing ever. If you have an opportunity, like you've got to come and do this.
This is one of the coolest things I've ever got to do. It's really a comprehensive immersion in the marine world. If you're looking for that ultimate marine experience, consider bringing the family to Marineland. This place is great. What's up, everybody? So listen, we had to make the move from the northern part of Flagler County down to the southern part in Flagler Beach. We're gonna go chase some reds in some isolated water. And because he was on his way down to Florida to do some dealer visits, I had the opportunity to hook up with Jeff Little from Torqeedo. And I'm also joined by one of the Native team members, Chris Cantwell. He's from Riverview, Michigan. And so this is not only the first time that he's ever had an opportunity to catch a red, but to get here, it was his first time he ever got on an airplane. So I thought that was pretty cool. 35 years old, never been on an airplane before, but he got here, he's enthusiastic, he's fired up, and we're about to go see if we can't catch him his first redfish. I want you to go straight. When you come out of that cut, you'll see a little gap over there. Go through that. I'm gonna go through that one and we'll kind of converge in that back flat.
Sounds good.
When I pulled up here, 4 or 5 boiled off because I paddled up too fast. So there was some in here.
Today's been, as you can probably see around us, it's been a little windy. And when we're out in the open flats, it's nice to have the pedal drive and you're able to keep your boat positioned to where you want to be. But what's nice about the hull design in the Slayer Max is it's designed for speed, it's designed to paddle well too. So when we're in these little channels and we got the wind blowing up against us and it's too shallow to use that drive, the boat handles perfectly.
It's sort of cheating, but if I haven't figured out where they're positioning, one real easy way to do it is to crash and learn. Not crash and burn, but crash and learn. You crash in the area at full speed and you learn where they're positioned. So we're just cruising. I got the motor going, covering ground and looking. Just hoping these fish are gonna show themselves. That looks interesting right there. I don't know if that's a fish or just some bait fish, but.
If you look up the word fisherman in a dictionary, You're not gonna get the definition that I'm about to give you, but here's my definition. Fisherman equals eternal optimist, because we literally believe that every time we make a cast or every next cast could be that fish of a lifetime. In fact, oftentimes I'm so optimistic, I'll cast over another angler and catch a new friend.
My name is Dave Farlow. I'm one of the owners and operators of Salty Dog Outfitters. Out here trying to catch some fish today. It's been a tough day so far, but I think we're gonna manage to catch some probably right before the sun goes down. In this part of Florida, anywhere you can find the bait, the crustaceans, mullet, bait fish, you'll find redfish. They eat shrimp like crazy. Everything eats shrimp, and that's a redfish.
Where are you?
I cover a lot of ground. I'm catching them on the slack side of the current seam.
Looks like Mr. Little found the fish. Let's kick it over to him to see where he caught it, how he caught it, and what he caught it on.
If you bass fish, you can catch these. And basically what I was doing when I caught this was very similar to skipping docks for largemouth. So as much commotion as you can make going in and as deep in there as you can, and then I'm just slowly swimming it out, waiting for that crunch.
God dang, bro, this is tough.
You didn't see nothing back where you were, huh?
Mud.
Anything happening?
I got one bite. I got him about halfway in and he got knocked off.
What's that you're using there, Chad?
Chatterbait. I thump them on it usually. I can catch just as few on this as I've been on everything else I've thrown, so.
That's one way to look at it.
One of the biggest mistakes I think the majority of anglers who aren't successful make is having a tendency to be impatient and fish too fast for the conditions. By and large, especially when it comes to targeting wary fish, you have to be more methodical. In fact, one of the things that I'll challenge you to do is observe birds of prey and how they're very methodical about their movements. And I think if you take that rate of fishing and you try to duplicate it, you'll be more successful, because honestly, take a cue from somebody that makes a living doing it.
So I was using a 3.5-inch Slayer paddle tail. The color was purple nurple, just slow rolling across the bottom. I was fortunate enough for him to come up and slam it right beside the kayak. Gorgeous little redfish. Say probably 21, 22 inches. And he's gonna be dinner.
I can't believe it took me as many years as it did coming to Florida to find Flagler County, Palm Coast, Flagler Beaches, because it really is an unbelievable gem. This is a place you can come and unplug, or you can plug into the natural world. It's almost like you couldn't make it any better. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Listen, this thing was packed, right? We learned about biodiesel, sustainability. We met a guy named Dolphin. We fished for redfish, we caught trout, we caught bluefish, we caught greenfish. Yeah, it was a good time. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, and if you haven't done so yet, smash that thumbs up. It takes a little bit of effort on your part. It means a whole lot to me. And listen, if you're considering supporting the channel and you want to join the nation's largest kayak fishing community, check out kayakbassfishing.com and consider becoming a member.